Hello everyone, it's career mode, it's back, it's season 3, and yes, I am commentating over it for the first time. I'd like to welcome you to it. Let's get straight into qualifying with the Force India. Now, I have been getting a lot of comments on my preview video as to why I would choose the Force India to do season 3 with after being with Ferrari in that last season. Quite simply, I wanted a challenge. After 2 seasons of winning the championship, I kind of, figured that it would make much more interesting viewing for me to be in the midfield rather than dominating at the front. So, here we go. And for those of you that watched season 2, you would realise that the Force India wasn't exactly the best car to work with. So, yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. Here we're in qualifying 2, got through qualifying 1 on the prime, so I was feeling fairly confident of getting into qualifying 3 on the options, but as you can see I'm already 6/10 down in sector 2 alone, and that's after being 4/10 up on my personal best.
If we don't get into 10th or higher, we won't progress to the shootout. Give it
So
your
yeah. And look at that, I'm already in the drop zone, behind Senna.
You need to come in before you run out of fuel.
And in fact I've dropped down to 15th, 16th, and as I cross the line, now I'm up to 14th, but do I stay there? No. It's a 17th position on the grid for that. Half a second slower than the next car, so that's not particularly good. And my teammate's up there in 13th. Which doesn't make things much better either. Here we go into the race. Beautiful sunny day in Melbourne, and as you can see my objective is 15th, so I've only got to climb 2 places effectively. There's Alonso sitting on pole position in the wonderful car that I left him last season, and there I am on the primes. What I'm hoping to do here is to, get past everyone as they pit and then come through on the options. We'll see how that goes as the lights go out and we go racing here. And I don't get a very good start as Vern passes me, but I dive down the inside, have a little bit of contact with Rosberg, but he's too safe on the side. We've got Senna on our left on the run down to turn 3, and yeah, the AI aren't exactly that great under braking for that corner at the start of a race, and I am up to 9th, so I've picked up several places. Try and go around the outside of Webber here, but that doesn't quite work out, so I decide to stick behind him, and then he just opens the door for me to drive through anyway, so I'm now up to 8th place. Yeah, I'm enjoying this career mode as we skip to lap 8. Everyone else has pitted. I decided to come in a lap early as Alonso was closing me down on his primes after he stopped, since I've inherited the lead. So we're going to come in, put on some fresh options, and hope to see how far we actually got through the field. I'm currently in 3rd, we see another couple of cars fly past, so I'm down to 5th, and as you can see there's the group of cars that I was just behind, and they've all got past me there, as Vettel barges his way past Button there by shoving him wide a bit. Now these two are going to have a great battle throughout the race here. They've balked each other there. I'm going to try and go around the outside of Jensen, but that doesn't quite work, as I run out of road and talent and grip and everything. So I just decide to sit behind him, see how things go. 6 laps remaining of the race, anything could happen. And most likely does in this game. If you remember last season, I thought I was gonna be stuck down there, and then Hamilton had an engine failure and allowed me to get through. We skip to lap 11 as Vettel now has DRS on Jensen, as Jensen has repassed him, and I just decided to have a bit of a go, and Vettel runs wide and I take the position. So that's me up to 7th place now, and I'm going to try and hunt Jensen button down on my options to his primes.
We've got a slight
We'll see how that goes.
close behind you.
Already pulled a second to Vettel there as we skip to lap 14 of 15. Now, I would just like to point out, remember just a couple of seconds ago I mentioned last season, for those of you that watched, Hamilton had an engine failure. I believe it was on this lap as well, actually. And Jensen makes a mistake and allows me through. So it looks like the McLarens don't really like
Currently
Australia,
9 places above where
as
we
both
predicted
years
and
they've had
counted
some
to the
kind
end.
of issue. Lewis Hamilton with his blown engine and Jensen Button forgetting where to brake. We skip on to the last lap, and as you can see we've got lapped traffic in front of me, and we have Mark Webber behind me. He's going to have DRS as well, which is going to make the run to the line very tense. I'm just deploying the rest of my curves, and I just managed to get there in front of him, and that's a 6th place finish. My teammate finishes down there in 13th place, so I feel sorry for Paul there. And there we go, Fernando Alonso winning the race,
result, a solid
taking
point
full
finish.
advantage of the wonderful Ferrari that he didn't seem to do last season when he seemed to be quite rubbish in it. Grosjean up there in 2nd place, good to see that. Kobayashi, Hamilton, Perez, there's me, Webber, Vettel, Schumacher up there in 9th place, button it down to 10th with that mistake from him. Rosberg, Verne, Di Resta, Ricciardo, Senna, Raikkonen down in 16th, Massa down in 17th, surprising to see them two down there. Maldonado in 18th, Kottakayan, Glock, De La Rosa, Pick, and the 2 Caterhams didn't finish, which is been interesting.
That result moves you into 6th in the Drivers'
Here's the
Championship.
Drivers' Championship. Obviously, with it being the first race of the season, it's going to look like the standings that I just showed you, but we'll run through that anyway. Hulkenberg down there in 25th because I've nicked his seat. And here's a Constructors' Championship. Sauber and Ferrari are tied. Lotus, Mercedes, McLaren, Red Bull, and there's Force India there in 6th place. So we'll see how that goes as the season progresses, and hopefully the car gets a little bit better. I hope you've enjoyed this thing that I've done, commentary for season 3, and yeah, join me from Malaysia next week.